One road crossing permit for District 2. For Chesapeake.
I move for the approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Two road crossing permits for Sanders for District 1. Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
What was that?
$8,296.40.
So culverts can replace the bridge?
Certain uses they can.
That's good. I remember,
If it will carry the water, it will.
yeah,
And they gotta cover a 20-foot
Right.
span.
when we're not on tape, I'll tell you about my experiences as a kid.
It's good when it's done.
Yeah. What's this?
Yeah.
Right here, I guess.
I'd like to see some water in the creek.
Okay.
I'd like to see some water in some creeks.
Yeah. Next item's disapprove or approve personnel policy manual amendment to allow commissioners discretion to pay overtime. This is basically just because it's hard to keep up with the oil field, and we're you push up a pile of shale and gravel when it's gone. The same day, there's no way to keep up, and it'd be a little easier for the guys to want to work if they give them 4 or 5 hours a week, or just for 1 or 2 guys to pay them overtime. We do it for FEMA all the time, so I mean, and that's not everybody. Just maybe one guy a week working for 4 or 5 hours. It's not a huge amount of money or anything.
I think it'd be a great tool for like when FEMA's here and situations where we had to work overtime and had to reimburse them.
Right.
I think it's something we got to keep an eye on, and remind everybody that this is by discretion when we make this call. It's not something that we're going to do on an everyday basis, but that we do have the ability to pay when we need to.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
So I make a motion to approve.
Sounds good. That sounds good to me.
Is that a second then?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Phoebe, can you write a page up for that?
Your speech is much better.
Insert the policy number.
I actually got the handbook saved on my computer. I can go in and change it.
Okay. That's good. Okay. That'll be easier then. Okay. Okay, approve, disapprove, county clerk to advertise for repairs for courthouse elevator.
Finally, you got a set of specs Wednesday or Thursday. That under section B, 1 and 2, I was in question about. I tried to call Roger and he was out. What that was, that beam that they were talking about they had to put in there or what.
Yeah, I really think that is that beam, but I guess if you'll contact him.
Yeah, which would mean that if that's that beam, then you're going to have to pay for installing that, is the way I would understand that. But probably need to touch base with Roger on that first.
Anyway, we'll go ahead and go out. Even if we got to change the specs a little this week, we still could do that.
Right.
Okay, next item, discuss selling clinic building.
We got the appraisal in on it.
And I really think it's within our best interest to sell it instead of rent it. I mean, we don't need the landlords, we don't need the headache, we don't need the added expenses, so.
The Did you ever talk to DHS any further?
She said she could possibly be willing to look into purchasing it. I don't know how they're gonna, I mean, the state doesn't have any money, I don't know how they're gonna do that, but, we'll just have to see. I mean, she said she was a little interested. There's 3 or 4 people interested in purchasing the building.
Yeah.
I think we just need to.
Well, we do have the option to turn down the bids
Right.
if they don't
Right.
work accordingly.
How do you, so?
I just think the DHS would be awful handy.
Oh, yeah, it'd be
Located
great
that
out
close to the clinic.
Sure.
A lot of people use the same facilities, so I'd really like to see. I just want to see something good go in there. I don't want to see the building set or be used for storage and go downhill. Especially where it's tight on the clinic. We don't want grass growing up. You know, be careful.
So when we sell this, when we do the same way with the rest of it, just seal bids, the option to raise the bid in the meeting. That worked okay with everybody last time.
Yeah, I think that's pretty efficient.
So we can be the auctioneer.
What?
I can auction it off.
I'm better man, I can auction it off.
Well, I agree that we don't want to be landlords, but at the same time, I just want to make sure it doesn't end up vacant or storage.
Right.
And I don't want it to look bad next to the clinic.
Right, as long as we reserve the right to.
That's one thing ownership does, guarantee us that we can keep the yard maintenance where if it's a private owner, you don't know what they're going to do with it, so.
Well, I'll make a motion to, go out or send out bids or advertise the sale clinic building. Or how we do that.
A second.
All in favor? You should advertise it. How many papers you gonna put it in, Bruce? 3 or 4, or 2, or?
All we're required to is put it in this one over here, but
Wouldn't hurt to put one in the paper.
I think you're right, yeah.
In your newsgram or
Wherever.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
You put it up for bids. Why do you not consider, well, you have to pay a realtor just putting it up for sale in general?
State
Is
law
that
doesn't
against
allow
the
for that,
state law? Doesn't, okay. Okay,
but it only.
I see. Okay.
It'd be a lot easier if we could.
Yeah, it'd be really simple.
Yeah, Billy, yeah.
It has to meet, 80% of the appraised value, is that what it said?
I think that's right, yeah.
That's what I'd say, it would have to be an 8% appraised value.
I think law says 80%.
Okay, next item, public discussion, only item on the agenda. Unforeseen business?
Yes, I have something. Friday, when I was putting the appropriations on for Monday, I noticed that the treasurer did not add any interest to my cash funds, and under investigation, she did not add any to the highway fund. As per those 2 resolutions I have handed you there. One was, the one on my cash fund was passed on the 2nd day of July of 2007. On your highway interest, it was done on the 31st day of March of 2009. That office has consistently added interest since we passed those resolutions. So I went over and visited with Valerie a little bit, and she kind of smiled and said, you know, I was told not to do that. She said that she was instructed not to pay any interest last month, and in visiting with her several months prior to that, she only paid interest on portions of those monies that she should have paid on. For instance, in on July the 1st of 2010, in one account of mine, she put $55.21. In the other account, it earned $73.63. Last month, there was no interest on either account. The month prior to that, the account that had been paid $55 interest was only paid $8 interest. The account that was paid $63 or $73 was only paid $11. So I called Sherry Merrill at the state auditor's office in Weatherford, and she said I needed to bring this to you guys' attention. And I said, well, if a resolution is in place, does it have to be renewed every year? And she says, no. The resolution stands until it is changed, whether it is rescinded or changed. So I went back to Valerie. She had tried to call Sherry, and Sherry called her back while I was in there to see Valerie. And she instructed Valerie to go back and calculate the correct amount of interest that should have been deposited in those accounts to include your highway interest, and make corrections. And Valerie said that it would probably take more than 1 month to make corrections, as much money was not done correctly. This is not right. She did it intentionally. She made Valerie do it the way she wanted it done, and she didn't think that this resolution was any good. I asked Valerie this morning if she had talked to Carolyn, and she said yes, that Carolyn thought about it a little bit, and she said, well, okay, make the corrections. But she knew what she was doing wrong. She said, we need a copy of the signed resolutions, and Valerie says, we have those in our file. But why all of a sudden did she stop doing this on her own is my question. And I think you commissioners need to pursue this further. Because it didn't only involve my monies, it involved your monies too. Did look at the assessor's account, which it's by resolution or by law, I don't know which, earns interest on their cash funds, and she did put the interest in the assessor's cash fund. So I don't know what possessed her to do that, but it is very unacceptable as far as I'm concerned to take that responsibility on herself when she knew she was doing wrong. Chad had told me here a while back
Yeah, I was aware
that she did not put the interest in the highway funds.
I was made aware of that. And when it's by resolution, she has to put it in there. I mean, it's not an option. It's by resolution. It must be followed.